Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Lowry and you are watching Tabletop Gaming Magazine. I am here today to give you a first look at Apocalisse, John's Guide to the Armageddon. A little bit unusually, I don't actually have a physical copy of the thing that we're talking about today. Apocalisse, John's Guide to the Apocalypse is a setting for 5e that's going to Kickstarter. So we don't physically have it at the moment. I do have some other work from the creators, Acheron, and so we'll have a quick look at that. But mostly we're going to be having a look at some of these images, and you'll see some of them on the screen, that come from the Quick Start PDF. So what is Apocalisse, John's Guide to the Armageddon? Well, first of all, it's a setting for 5e. That is the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, and it's launching on Kickstarter soon. Apocalisse, in a nutshell, is a Mad Max Fury Road plus Hokuto no Ken set in a Renaissance dark fantasy setting based on the Book of Revelation of St. John. I probably can't explain it in a much more of a nutshell than that. Let's have a look at some pictures, for which I need my trusty laptop, and I shall share the screen with you now. So, straight away here we've got the mock-ups of what the 3 books are going to look like. And we've got Apocalisse, which is the base book, the Monsters of the Armageddon, which is the monster manual or the bestiary, and then the Book of Revelation, which I think if we're basing this on the previous project, Inferno, which is based on Dante's Inferno, I suspect that they have probably gone and used some of their imagery to do an illustrated version of the Book of Revelation as well. And this imagery is just stunning, isn't it? I mean, it just looks amazing. I mean, even if nothing else, just look at that. Look at that cool segmented logo up at the top here. You've got kind of the Alpha and Omega symbol happening there. There are some cool dragons. There are some cool monsters. I'm excited. Look at these. Look at these seven-headed dragon things. And this is giving a good taste of just how awesome the artwork is in most of the stuff that I've seen by Acheron. We've got people, a very kind of Lord of the Rings, looking over the wastelands kind of vibe there. But there's just some beautiful art in here. So I think this is a bit of a taste of what you're going to be seeing, and we'll dive a little bit more into that in a second. But if we come away from the screen, I'd just like to show you some of the stuff that Acheron have done previously. So let me show you Inferno, which is Acheron's previous project. And Acheron have been very successful previously. I believe that Inferno made over 400,000 euros on Kicks. And we've got 3 books here from it. So you've got Inferno, Dante's Guide to Hell. You've got Inferno, Divina Commedia, which is the Divine Comedy in Italian. And so this, awesome. I think this is a very cool thing that they've done here, and it looks like it's the same thing that they're going to be doing with Apocalisse, which is that they've taken that source text of the Divine Comedy, which I'll just squiggle open here. And so we've got, so the chapters of the Divine Comedy are called the cantos. Okay, and what we've got here, okay, is we've got the whole of the Divine Comedy with absolutely beautiful artwork from the game. And you've got the original Italian and English in here side by side, and they've done that just because, well, if you like the source material and you like the artwork they've done here, what better way to dive in? If you want to find out about any more of these, by the way, you can go to acheronstore.com, which is for the US, and acheron.it, which is for the rest of for the EU and for the rest of the world. So just having a quick look at Inferno now, and to be clear, Apocalisse isn't necessarily part of the same world. They're designed so that you could definitely play with elements of both of the same thing, because obviously one's a guide to hell and one's the end of the world with sort of a hell on earth sort of situation happening. And they're both based on 5e, so there's a lot of compatibility there, but there's no guarantee that you're getting exactly the 2 things that work in exactly the same system. However, for fans of some of the beautiful artwork and layout that you get in this game, I think you're going to find that if you enjoyed Inferno, then Apocalisse is also for you. And so just to clarify, you've got the source book here for Inferno, and then Virgilio's Untold Tales is your first sort of setting book that's got some pre-built modules and adventures in it. I mean, here's chapter 1, Indifferent Angels. And what a title, Indifferent Angels. So yes, you should definitely consider checking out Inferno, but that is not the point of this video. I just wanted to give you first of all, a demonstration that Acheron can deliver on a product, and they've had previous success on Kickstarter, but also just to give you a taste of some of their work. Let us go back to Apocalisse. And as we go through this, I just want to remind you there are 2 places that it would be useful for you to go to. First of all, acheron.it/Apocalypse. If you go there, you can you'll get a free PDF of the quick start sent to you. And secondly is the Kickstarter. And the full link for that is kickstarter.com/projects/Acheron Games /Apocalysse John's Guide to Armageddon for 5e
!ref equals EYB58L.
And as I've said before, you can get there by going to acheron.it /Apocalysse. Anyway, let's have a quick look at this Kickstart. So we've got the front cover here with those dragons again. And then we've got these intro pages here. A reminder: this is not an official add-on for Dungeons and Dragons. Wizards of the Coast are not involved with this, but it's for the 5th version of the world's most popular tabletop role-playing game, inspired by the biblical Book of Revelation. Pretty sure the Book of Revelation is now out of copyright, given that it's about 2,000 years old. We've got the contents here. So again, this won't be the full contents of everything that you get. This is the quick start, and I would warn you, obviously, that there could be some spoilers as we flick through here. So just be aware of that. And so the whole thing peppered throughout has got some lovely quotes from Revelation, which is, regardless of your take on religion, is a very dramatic book. After these things I looked, and I saw a door opened in heaven, and the first voice that I heard, like a trumpet speaking with me, was one saying, "Come up here, and I will show you the things that must happen after this." So the whole book is based on some of the ideas in the Book of Revelation, and John is a prophet in the Book of Revelation, talking about the things he sees, and the number 7 comes up very, very often. So there's the 7 divine seals and the appearance of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and lots of legions of monsters and things like that happening here. And I think these guys will have obviously interpreted that biblical book to make it fit a narrative story well. So you're set in the end times, a time when the world has ended as we know it, and it doesn't look very nice, does it? I especially love look at that. Especially love that archer. Look at the lightning rattling over that. Not sure if rattling is a word. And you've got this map here. Obviously that works as a 2-page spread, and we've got PDFs of that as well. I am really loving the artwork here. Now there's a few things that immediately jump out at me as different from sort of base 5e here. So we've got factions. So you're kind of split between whether or not you're supporting the throne, the Abyss, or Babylonia, which is a sort of a faction in the fallen city. So you've kind of got three different ways that you can align yourself. Then you've got marks. So the mark of the Lord, or the mark of the beast, that people can get, and this actually points to some of that imagery that I noticed earlier on the cover. And when a player character is marked, they gain mark dice, which those increase as you go through levels. So it starts as a D4, going up to a D6, and that's adding a real flavour that works mechanically in the game, but also is something that fits into some of the stuff that you see in the source material. And then we've got the people of Apocalisse. So this is your player characters, who are referred to as the last ones. They are the mortals still alive on the plain of Armageddon. And this does, again, it adjusts some of that original 5e material. So instead of having backgrounds like you would have in 5e. Instead, you have origins for these last ones, and it comes with a whole list of origins for you. And some of them fall under familiar archetypes. So you've got things like the Sorcerer of Otherworldly Bloodline, which is a new sorceress origin. You've got the Bard of Revelation, which is a new Bard college that you can choose from. And so this is designed that, you know, you can mix and match a little bit if you want to. You don't have to be taking everything from this game 100%. You could potentially thread some of these ideas into a normal 5e campaign. I'm loving some of the line art here. I'm not, you know, a lot of this art has been drawn from scratch. I'm not sure if some of this is using some of that classic imagery that's now out of copyright, but with some adjustments to it. We've got some monsters here. As you saw, the monsters come in their own separate book if the campaign goes as planned. I imagine the fourth horsemen are also going to be monsters that you can face, and they are going to be absolutely hench, aren't they? They are going to be, they're going to be total party kills half the time. I mean, you're already in the end times in an apocalypse, so total party kills are probably par for the course. And then you have the Key to the Seal, which is an introductory adventure for 4 third-level characters. And I'm not going to go into huge amounts of detail about this because I don't want to introduce too many spoilers. Ultimately, you can pick up the Kickstarter for yourself by going to acheron.it/Apocalisse. But also, you can back the campaign on Kickstarter when it launches. I like here how it gives 3 different sort of sets of motivation of why characters might take on the mission: faith, reward, and conspiracy. And each of those leans into those 3 alignments that we talked about at the beginning in terms of being on the side of the Lord, being on the side of the enemy, or being in Babylonia. You've got faith, reward, and conspiracy. But they don't have to, you know, things are murky, so you don't have to be just purely set in one faction or the other. I think there's room for things to move around a little bit, and it comes with 5 different scenes. So that tells you there's a chunky amount there for your group to work through. So I'm just going to show you 2 more things that are the kind of things that, if you're interested in this, you're probably going to be wanting to know what they're like. First of all, here's just a couple of stat blocks. Here's a goat demon with its abilities to ram, bite, claws, and obviously being sure-footed. We've got I don't actually know how to pronounce that, an Arium, a huge celestial, which, wow, has some fairly impressive actions there. Celestial charge. It's causing a DC 15 dexterity saving throw with thunder damage and radiant damage to anyone within 15 foot of it. You've got some, for those of you who like to really get into the nuts and bolts of the mechanics of D&D, you've definitely got some of that going on here. The other thing I wanted to show you, and one that fits very strongly into my style of play, is, and this is probably something you could drop into any game. Doesn't need to specifically even be a 5e or one set in this setting. Is a calamity, D12 calamities. Let's just have a look. Let's choose a number. 6. Boiling stream. The group must cross a 20-foot wide stream where waters boil with unsettling heat. A creature starting its turn in the water takes 3 fire damage at the start of each round. To swim across, a creature must succeed on a DC 18 strength check. On a failed check, they take 3 or 1d6 fire damage and have disadvantage on the next check. If you're swimming across a boiling stream, surprisingly, it's going to hurt a bit. And if you fail to swim across, you're going to struggle even more next turn. The one there I'm excited about is probably Flaming Meteor. Probably want to just drop that into the next campaign I play, regardless of the setting. So, that's a bit of a look at John's Guide to the Apocalypse. If you would like to find out more information about this, I'd recommend going to acheron.it/Apocalysse, and that link is down here below. If you go there, you can immediately subscribe and you can pick up the Quick Start PDF straight away. Also, if you want to back the pre-launch for this on Kickstarter, the full link, and I'll read it out, but it's below and in the description, kickstarter.com/project/Acheron Games Apocalysse-Johns-Guide-2-Armageddon-4-5E.
?ref equals EYB58L.
I've been Chris Lowry. You can find me at @CMLowryAuthor on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And this has been Tabletop Gaming Magazine. You can check us out online, you can check us out on YouTube, and you can buy our magazine in print for news, reviews and features all about the wonderful world of tabletop gaming. Thanks very much. Bye.